The best of DIY to the best of home decor. Until about a couple of weeks ago, we were all saying winter is coming, but winter is actually here right now, and we're looking to share some tips with you of how to keep your home warm, how to keep yourself warm during this long winter season. That's why we've called in the expert help of heating expert Kristo Nikolov from Hydro Fire. Now, I've walked into some of my friends' houses and you see these beautiful installations of heating devices and you're like, oh, it's beautiful, but you think it's very expensive as well, right? It's an expensive exercise.
That's right. It doesn't have to be expensive, but there is a range that you can go from. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's various forms of heating for this winter, and we actually spent the last few days calculating the various costs associated with running each one of them.
All right. So take us through some of these cost comparisons of what we can expect to pay.
Yeah. So if you look at the chart, we've got closed combustion stoves, we have pellet stoves, gas heaters, paraffin burners, aircon or heat pump, and then finally just regular electrical heaters and open fires.
Yeah.
So essentially, it turns out that your normal closed combustion stoves, highly efficient, running on wood, it's probably one of the cheapest ways, followed by pellet stoves. Now, the reason we have quite a range on the pellet stoves, there's a very big difference where you buy your pellets from, and the cost of the pellets can influence the cost of your final heating quite a bit.
Oh, okay, yes.
So it's busy progressing in South Africa. The pellet stoves are becoming more and more popular, but the supply of pellets probably needs to improve a little bit to bring that cost down.
Yeah, but in terms of the graph that we're looking at right now, obviously the most cost-effective would be the closed combustion stoves.
That's correct.
But of course, households are also looking to be a bit more eco-friendly. So how does that comparison work?
Well, believe it or not, closed combustion stoves are quite eco-friendly.
Yeah?
Burning wood in a way where the stove incinerates it completely. It produces only about 25 grams of CO2 per kilowatt produced.
Yeah.
If you compare that to gas, paraffin, gas is about 200 grams, paraffin about 250. So it's more or less about 10 times less.
Okay. So in terms of that, when you're looking at cost effective and also being eco-friendly, you're still doing well with the closed combustion stoves.
That's right, yeah.
But when it comes to then at the end of the day, I mean, like I said, you look at these beautiful things and it's quite a thing because we forget to think about the installation costs of that. So talk to me about that.
So when you look at the costs, most places will advertise the cost of the fireplace only. But then the whole cost is comprised of a few things. So it's the stove, then you have the chimney, or the flue, as you call it.
The flue?
Yes.
Quite appropriately named, isn't it?
Yeah. And then there's the installation cost. So it's really made up of three costs. And when you're budgeting, you need to find out what each one costs. So, for example, a single-story house, the flue would be a lot cheaper than, let's say, a double-story house. I mean, in a double-story house, you would probably end up paying more than the actual fireplace.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to continue our chat a little bit later on, so make sure that you do stay tuned for that. A far cry from how I keep myself warm at home, which is just like with blankets. I don't know. Graham, what do you use, bro?